Hi, I'm Taylor with D1, here with Aaron. He's a nutrition and supplement expert. So I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions that I keep hearing from you. So, first of all, what is your experience with nutrition and supplements?
I used to work at a nutrition store actually for about 2 years. So when I was there, knowing what you have to sell, obviously you need to know about the products. So when it comes to ask you can't just be like, it's good. You gotta actually know some stuff about it. So we did the few courses for nutrition and all that through NASM, some through other places, but main background though was just doing my own studying time on the stuff that I had to sell when I was at that store.
Okay, awesome. Now, I imagine that you've taken quite a bit yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so based off of your experience, what is the number one supplement that you cannot live without?
My number one would have to be creatine, just because I am very into heavy lifting and strength and gaining muscle, like most men are. But it's great for men and women. So creatine for me is my favorite only because, like I said, very great to gain muscle, to gain strength, helps you burn fat actually because the more muscle you gain, the more fat you burn. It's a great tool to use for women too because a lot of women have that goal of gaining lean muscle. And when you're taking creatine, it's going to help you do more reps, do more weights. Of course, the more reps and more weight you do, the faster you're going to gain some muscle, obviously. So.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Creatine, I think, is very undervalued, and I think people have the kind of old school thought about it.
Yes.
They tend to think it's just for powerlifters or bodybuilders, but they don't understand there's a lot more benefits to creatine than just...
Has a lot of bodily functions.
Right. Okay, and just curious, how many calories are you eating right now?
Currently, for me, dependent on the day and how active I am, I'm eating probably right around 2,500 calories, which is a lot compared to the average adult. But it's because my job is training and I'm constantly running around and lifting weights and doing this and that. So I do burn more calories than the average person. But the intake for most people should be anywhere, again, depending on your activity level, from like 1,500 to maybe like 2,300. Again, for me though, I do burn a lot of calories, so I need to intake more calories dependent on my job. So right now, 2,500, maybe a crazy day, maybe like 3,000.
Okay, awesome. How often does your basal metabolic rate change?
It changes quite often just based on gaining weight, losing weight. The more weight you have on your body, the more your basal BMR will be, the lower, obviously, the lower it goes. So if you have a constant fluctuation of weights, it's going to constantly be changing. It's not going to be a gigantic shift, but it does change pretty often. So as long as you know your current weight and you do, if you have the opportunity to get on like a scanner to scan your actual body comp, it will tell you the exact amount that you have. But it does change based on the weight and the amount of muscle mass you have on your body.
What is the number one question you get from women?
Women would be the creatine. Is it okay to take creatine? Should I take creatine? What's creatine do? And all those questions are yes, you should take creatine, especially if the goals are more like fitness-based, like gaining muscle or losing body fat or just having a better overall fitness experience. Creatine does all of those great things. We do get creatine from your body. It naturally makes creatine, but not in a big enough dose to get the full effects. The basic explanation of creatine is it gives your body more fuel to do more. So you're going to be doing more reps, more weight. It's going to give you more energy in that gym. It gives your muscles the fuel to produce the power to lift the weights.
Okay. I'm kind of surprised that women are asking you about creatine.
Which is great.
Yeah.
It's great that people are asking because it's a very, very great thing to use. And people that don't use it, when they first try it, it's like, wow, why didn't I start it sooner?
Okay, so you think it's that much of a difference?
It is.
It's that noticeable.
It's very, very important.
Okay. You said there's different types of creatine?
Yes, so there are a lot of different versions. They all have the same basic function to give the muscles more energy, but certain versions are better for certain things. So if you're more into gaining a lot of muscle and gaining some strength, creatine monohydrate is the most basic version of it. It is the most medically researched and all that, so it's the most known. That's the one I would start with and recommend trying because it's the most known version. There are also some like creatine hydrochloride and crealkaline, which are more shifted towards athletes because they are less gaining big and bulky and more actual helping with like endurance. But all creatine is going to have that same function of giving your muscles more fuel and more energy.
Okay, got it. What is the number one question you get from men?
Men would be honestly a lot. So some of them are asking about the creatine, some are asking me about protein, some are asking about calorie amounts that they should be eating. I would say probably the most asked though is about the protein, because a lot of men just naturally eat more than women usually. But you want to be trying to get protein not through just supplements, but also through food. So that's the best way to get protein is through food, chicken, steak, fish, all those lean proteins. I'd say protein powder is very important if you're vegan, vegetarian, like don't get a lot of protein through your diets. It's very important to get near your body weight in grams of protein per day, so you're getting adequate amount of protein to help recover from lifting and to keep you fuller for longer. So if you don't want to eat a bunch of calories throughout the day, protein is going to keep your body digesting food, which will keep you fuller for a longer period of time.
I know one thing that I hear a lot from women is they might be able to get breakfast in, maybe not, but then they're running all day. They take
Yes.
the kids to school, then they're running errands, and then maybe they go to the gym, then they go pick the kids up from school, and they just don't have time, or they don't make the time to make food a priority.
And the good thing about protein at that point is you literally throw it in a cup, add in water, milk, whatever you want to do, shake it up, and you're good to go. So you can bring it in your car, you can leave it at your office, wherever you work at, you can bring it on the go. They also make, of course, like pre-made protein shakes in those cups, but if you buy the powder, it's going to last you longer. It's usually the best quality, and you can bring it on the go wherever you are.
Okay. And what are your thoughts on pre-workout?
Pre-workout is very, very good if you need it. It is dependent on your own body and what time you're working out. If you're a very morning workout person or a nighttime, depending on your schedule. So me, I live on caffeine, and most pre-workouts are going to have a hefty amount of caffeine. Some pre-workouts don't have caffeine, which is also great if you're not a caffeine person. But I'd say the biggest reason most people take pre-workout is for that boost of energy from the caffeine, of course. And some of them, some of them have a little bit. Some of them have a ungodly amount. So it's just dependent on your body
It's
and
all
knowing,
relative.
yes, and knowing what you need. Like if it's your first time, don't go ask people for the strongest one they have. You want to try it first. Or if you even want to do just coffee. Coffee's a great way to get a little bit of caffeine in, but most pre-workouts at the usual stores will have more than just caffeine. So stuff for energy, stuff for focus, stuff for blood flow to certain areas that you're working out. So it's more than just caffeine, but definitely the biggest thing about pre-workout is the caffeine. So if you're a morning time worker and you need that boost of energy to get up in the morning and go do your workout because you have a short schedule, definitely pre-workout would be a great thing to use if you can handle your caffeine.
I will say this. So I have a very high tolerance and appreciation for caffeine.
So do I.
When I was doing my competition prep, I was very, very low. So it's 1,200 calories per day, 90 hours of the gym, and your body's just starving at that point. And I took a new pre-workout. I'm not going to say the name, but it was not a big name. I just went to the whichever supplement store it was, and I just asked them which one's the strongest, and they gave it to me. And I was at a big box gym here on the second floor on the Stairmaster, and I started to throw up. So I had to make it all the way down to the first floor and then have someone pick me up. So I think it's like you were saying, it depends on a lot of different things, and it can be excellent. I still love pre-workout, but now I'm very aware of exactly what I'm taking, when I'm taking it, when I'm eating.
Always start with the lower dose and then increase when you need it. But if you can go to the gym without pre-workout, that's what I recommend if you can get that full effort in. If you want to get that little boost though, again, not going to the point where you're throwing up, obviously.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's a great tool though.
Okay, awesome. And what is your favorite stack?
So my favorite, and I think the best stack, probably men, would be a protein, pre-workout, and creatine mixture.
Sounds great.
Yes, that's probably like the holy trifecta of supplements, the basic three for most people starting off. Same thing for women too. Protein, creatine, pre-workout, great. If you're not into pre-workout and you do not want to do the caffeine thing, a great one to throw in there would be either like a multivitamin or
Fish
maybe
oils?
Fish oils are amazing as well, great for heart health, brain health, multivitamins, magnesium, all these things that help you with the recovery and the health of your body. If your brain is not healthy, if your heart's not healthy, it's going to be hard to go to the gym every day. So you need things that are going to be very, very good, not just to help you in the gym, but to help you recover as well.
Okay. My last question for you is going to be, research should a parent or a young athlete put into researching the brands that they're taking? If, for example, they're a D1 athlete and they're concerned about popping on a test, but they want to make sure they're maximizing their recovery and their training.
Yes, so of course you always want to look into something before you just start dumping down your mouth, obviously. So most stores will have either a section, or if you ask someone who works there, hey, do you guys have a pre-workout or this or that that is approved by whether it's college or high school or any type of test where you're in competition? Most stores have a set thing where they can show you that section. But just doing research and finding the ones that are approved is a great idea, and just checking if you actually need it. A lot of people take 10 different things, they don't know which one is working. It could be the one thing, the first thing you took could be working, and you added in 8 more things, you're not gonna know which one's actually helping you. Why take 20 things when you can take 2 things and it has a sim effect, you know? So definitely research in terms of not getting popped is important. I think 2 brands that I know for sure that are certified, certain ones are, C4 has certain ones that are approved, and also Gold Standard by Optimum Nutrition are 2 of them that I know are certified. That was a while ago, so I would still check.
Sweat Ethic.
Do the Sweat Ethic.
Very clean.
Do the research, but as long as it has the things that you're looking for in pre-workout, which is again usually that little bit of caffeine, that maybe creatine isn't pre-workout sometimes, stuff to help you focus. Those are all the main things you are looking for in pre-workout, but always focus first and do the research before you actually start taking a bunch of things.
So in other words, a lot of research.
A lot of research is better than no research.
For sure.
Even a little bit is better than none. Make sure you're doing some sort of research on the brand and all that stuff before you just don't buy all this stuff, you know?
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And just leave us with one little piece of advice, please.
Consistency is key, no matter what it is, whether it's fitness or your lifestyle or work, whatever. Consistency is what keeps you going, and when you see the progress, you see the goals getting hit, that's from being consistent. So just keep being consistent and go at it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.